decided don't try to make a friend on tour because there's so many people outside of tennis world. You know why I have to just make friends here? Because I come here to compete with them to win the match. And yeah, that's my opinion.
When you hear the words best friends in tennis, who do you immediately think of? Because I think of Aryna Sabalenka and Paula Badosa. I think of Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. And I think of Coco Gauff, Ben Shelton, and Chris Eubanks. I think of them. And I wonder what it's like to be best friends with your biggest rival. You're out there on the court to do a job. This is your passion. This is everything you've ever wanted in life, is to win a slam or a title or whatever. And you have to go out and compete against your good friend. And I think that is so strange. It's kind of also very refreshing. It's nice to think that these players are competing, but can also be friends and friendly and hang out with each other and develop these lovely relationships. And I just wanted to discuss that today. Anyway, let's get into it. Of Sabalenka's friendship with Badosa, I think that's the one that I see the most on social media. They post about each other a lot. I see fan accounts posting about them, videos of them practicing together, hanging out off of the court. I find this dynamic really interesting. I think it's nice to see people getting along and supporting each other and rooting for each other. Side note, though, have you seen the movie Talladega Nights? The whole premise was basically Ricky Bobby, the main character played by Will Ferrell. He always wanted to win, right? So he had to win no matter what. He was the best and he wanted to be number one. His best friend, Cal Naughton Jr., always came in second. So even if Cal was ahead in the race, they were doing NASCAR or F1. I don't know the difference. Sorry. I think it's NASCAR. So even if Cal was about to win, he would do something to sabotage himself to make sure that Ricky Bobby always won, right?
I was thinking though, one time, it would be really awesome if, you could slingshot me in for a win.
Yeah, but if you won, how am I gonna win?
Yeah.
Think about it.
No, I was thinking about it.
I mean, it's not like you're finishing 18th.
Nothing wrong with silver.
Nothing wrong with silver at all.
I'm just kidding you, man. I don't want to win.
It kind of reminds me of that with Sabalenka and Badosa. I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but a part of me feels like Sabalenka is the Ricky Bobby, right? And Badosa is the Cal Naughton Jr. Okay, my camera died again. I have zero patience. I do not want to wait for it to fully charge, so I'm just charging it for 10 minutes at a time. Sabalenka and Badosa have played against each other 7 times total. The first 2 times they played, Badosa won. The last 5 times they played, Sabalenka won. Now, I know that Badosa has been plagued with injuries, and so she hasn't been her best, right? But even still, I wonder if and when they compete again, because I'm sure they will, if they're both playing at their best. I don't know. I just feel like Badosa won't win. Even though she has the full ability to win, I wonder what that would do to their dynamic if Badosa started winning again. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. A little Ricky Bobby, a little Cal Naughton Jr.-ish, in my opinion. That said, I do really like their friendship. They seem like really good friends, and I love that. Now, this is very surprising to me because I have never seen Iga Swiatek chumming it up with really anybody on tour. But there have been a few videos recently on social media where she and Sabalenka were practicing together and kind of making TikToks together. So let's watch that. So, I think it's great that they're working out together and really pushing each other as the world number 1 and number 2. That makes sense to me. I think it's in our nature to want to be friends with the people around us, to see our friends succeed. And we really let our guard down when we're in those situations. So I think it'll be interesting to see if the friendship between Sabalenka and Iga goes further and how and if it will affect their play in any way. But you know what they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
It's tough to play against the friend, but we all want to win the match, and on the court we're opponent, off the court we're friends. And I got an invitation from her for her birthday celebration next Friday, and after the match she said, "You're not coming to my birthday," but I said, "I'll make sure I'll bring you a good gift, so you'll be okay."
I decided don't try to make a friend on tour because there's so many people outside of tennis world. You know why I have to just make friends here? Because I come here to compete with them to win the match. And yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, so about Zheng. I've seen on social media articles about her saying that she's cold and unfriendly. And a part of me thinks, is she doing that to protect herself? I can see it both ways. She doesn't want to make friends because, like she said, she's got plenty of friends outside of tennis. Why does she need to make friends with the other players on the WTA? I completely understand that. So when people come down on her for that in particular, I don't really think that's a valid criticism. You hear it all the time. People say, I didn't come here to make friends. I came here to win.
I wasn't here to make friends, sorry.
Yeah, right. You're not here to make friends.
Are you here to make friends? Because I'm not here to make friends.
No, I'm not here to make friends. I'm not saying that.
I didn't come here to make friends with 24-year-olds.
I didn't come here to make friends. This is indeed a game.
We're not here to be friends. There's nothing personal. This is business.
And Zheng is no different. She's a competitor. This is her life. This is her everything. And she doesn't want a friendship with anybody to get in the way of her goals. And I can completely understand that. However, there have been reports that she's rude or unfriendly or disrespectful. Emma Navarro had said that Zheng was unfriendly and creates a very tense, hostile locker room environment. I don't like the unsportsmanlike behavior. That's completely different, I think. There is a level of respect that should be maintained in sportsmanlike conduct. Do you guys remember, this happened obviously not too long ago, Coco and Zheng played against each other in the finals at Riyadh. And during the final ceremony, there's fireworks going off and everything. And Zheng is just standing there with her hand on her hip. She's like she was not trying to pretend to even, be happy for Coco or anything like that. It just cracked me up. It was more funny than anything. I don't think Coco even noticed. I don't think she took offense. I think it was actually really funny. But all in all, I understand Zheng's point of view. I don't know if I'd be able to become besties with the competition. I really don't. I don't know. Well, I think Coco Gauff has done the really smart thing actually here, and she's become good friends with the guys on the ATP tour, so Chris Eubanks and Ben Shelton. She says that they are an outlet for her to be able to step away from the WTA bubble, and I think vice versa. I think that's really smart. She can still make friends on the tour, but she doesn't have to worry about competing against her best friends.
Yeah, it's great to have, two guys and, on tour that I kind of just, get to step away from this world a little bit. With the women, we're friendships, but, we're going to have to play each other in a tournament. So sometimes we don't always hang out like before. So I think it's great. And then Chris, I've known since I was a little kid. And then I kind of got closer to Ben through Chris. And I think we just have a good, we all root for each other, a good friendship. We all have Atlanta roots. So it's nice to have Americans doing well on tour.
Okay, moving on. Let's go to my two favorite, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. Man, I love this friendship. I think these two from the very beginning have had such a fierce rivalry, but I don't think there was ever any bad blood between them. I think they matured, and as they moved further along in their careers, they've gotten even closer. We all know that scene where Roger's retiring and they're holding hands and crying, and just it's so emotional because they've kind of grown up together and played against each other and become such good friends, and it warms my heart. I love them together. Now, I don't think they're quite as close as Rublev and Medvedev. These two, I think, consider themselves family. Rublev is the godfather to Medvedev's daughter, which is just so precious. They've known each other since they were little kids, since they were 6. They grew up together. They've played together for a really long time. I think they've been able to still maintain a very solid friendship off the court, and they don't let any on-court competition or anything like that get in the way of their friendship. You know what I love about Rublev is that he seems very, very affectionate. Okay, my camera died, but I'm back. I think I know where I left off. So Rublev said on his friendship with Medvedev, he said, obviously we built our relationship because of tennis, but it's now already bigger than tennis. We have known each other since we were 6. He's super honest, super relaxed. It's super easy to communicate with him. At the same time, he's really, really funny. When you spend time with him, you always have fun. I think it's doable for players to become best friends with their fiercest competitors. I just think it would be really difficult for me to be able to do that. But I really applaud people who can, because it must be really nice to have your friend there with you, especially when you start competing at such a young age. You think about these players who have been playing in the juniors and stuff and turned pro very young, and this has been their life. And I'm sure they've traveled a lot and spent a lot of time away from home, a lot of time away from family. They kind of need family and other kids that can relate to them when they're on tour. Okay, so this friendship I absolutely love is Madison Keys with Jessica Pegula, Taylor Townsend, and Sloane Stephens. I honestly didn't know that they were this tight, that those three would have gone to Maddie's wedding, but I love it. Obviously, they play team tennis together, so of course there's probably some camaraderie there. They don't necessarily flaunt their relationship on social media like maybe Badosa and Sabalenka do, but I think it's really sweet. I love to see this. Obviously, I'm always rooting for the Americans, so to see that they've been able to develop a friendship and seem to be able to separate competition versus their lives outside of tennis, I think it's awesome. I'd love to get your thoughts in the comments down below on these friendships in tennis. If you were competing at this level, at the professional level, do you think you'd be able to become besties with your competitors, or would you rather kind of keep your distance and not get too close?